welcome to Central Women YouTube and podcast channel. We're just delighted that you're with us today, and we are doing a series called Created to Be Me, and I am one of your hosts today. I'm Christine Barella, and we have...
I'm Cassandra.
And Debbie Briggs.
Yeah, we're just so grateful you're here with us. And Debbie, did you want to start off with our verse?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Ephesians 2:10, so meaningful as it relates to created to be me. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which he prepared in advance for us to do.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful verse.
It is,
Yeah.
it is so good.
Yeah.
And so today, I'm just excited. Cassandra, you're going to share with us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to teach us today.
I'm
So-
actually talking about 3 women.
Okay, 3 women.
Yeah,
Wow. 3
all in
women.
one.
Okay,
Here we go.
3 in
All in
1. Okay.
Because I was, yeah. But they all kind of go together, so I thought, you know what? We're going to do 3 in 1.
Awesome. Okay.
So we're in Exodus, starting in Exodus 1. And just to give a little background of what's going on during this time period, this is right before Moses is born, and the Egyptians are ruling over the Israelites, and they've enslaved the Israelites. And the Israelites' population keeps growing and growing and growing. And the Pharaoh of the Egypt gets very nervous because, like, okay, if these guys decide to go to war or don't like what's happening, this could get really ugly and not go well for us.
Right.
And so he decides, hey, let's actually work them harder and harder and harder, and that will resolve the problem. Well, he does that, and that doesn't resolve the problem. The keep growing and growing, more Israelites there's more and more of a population. So he decides, he has this idea. He goes to the midwives, and I'm going to read this in verse 17. Starting in verse 15. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, I believe, I might be wrong, when you are helping the Hebrew women during childbirth on the delivery stool, if you see that a baby is a boy, kill him. But if it's a girl, let her live. Okay, so he's telling these 2 Hebrew midwives to just kill all the boys. This is a really simple way to stop my problem, so just go and do that. Well, the midwives, they feared God, so they weren't having any of that. And so they decided to stand their ground. What they did is they decided to allow all the boys to live. Well, the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, he didn't understand what was going on. So he summoned the midwives back. And I just couldn't even imagine what they're thinking in this moment. So he's summoned back and he says to the midwives, why have you done this? Why have you let the boys live? And the midwives answered, thinking on their feet, Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth before the midwives arrive. So they use that. They give birth so quickly, and before we get there, there's nothing we can do. So the God is kind on these midwives. He allows them to, they actually are able to, he blesses them and they have families. And the Israelites, they keep on growing in numbers and numbers and numbers. So that's the first part about these 2 midwives, because if it weren't for them, the second part of our story just never happens. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Exodus 2. And in Exodus 2, this is the story of the birth of baby Moses. So many of you have heard this, but there's a few things I want to talk about. So he is born actually during this time. His mom keeps him quiet for 3 months. And again, I don't even know how you keep a baby quiet for 3 months and hide the fact that he's a boy. That part's a little bit easier, but still, there's a lot happening there. So she hides him because at this point the soldiers are now coming in and they're taking all the baby boys and they're killing them by throwing them in the river, which I can't even imagine living through that. And all the baby boys are just being tossed into the river to die. So what she decides to do, she can no longer keep him a secret and can't keep him hidden. She takes a basket and she puts tar around the basket so it will float, and then she puts her baby in the basket in the river, the same river that they're tossing all the babies in to die. Is in that river she puts him in on the bank of the Nile. Now Miriam is with the mom and with baby Moses at this time, and Miriam is his older sister. We don't know exactly how old she is, but in my mind, she's around somewhere between like 5 and 11, maybe somewhere in there. That's just a guesstimate, but there's nothing in here that tells us her age. But she, as I read through this, how I picture her, if you've ever come across one of those spunky children, especially a spunky little young girl who just kind of rattles off whatever's on her mind, like, and points at whatever's like, oh, you shouldn't eat so many donuts. We all know that person probably should be eating so many donuts, but nobody should be saying that out loud. That's just not the thing to do. She just kind of speaks her mind. And just, that's how God created her inside, just to like, and you know, that's
I think she's probably an Enneagram 8.
I'm an Enneagram 8. What do you say? Maybe she is. Maybe that's why I relate to her so much. Anyways, so I pictured that she's that type of personality. So just go with me as I read this.
We're going.
Yeah. So the mom places the child and puts it among the reeds in the Nile, along the Nile. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. So, because really he could just easily, in my mind, like a wave would come over and he could end up dying in the Nile. Like there's no real plan at this moment. Like, so she's like, oh, well, I'm curious. I want to see what happens. So I'm going to go watch. So that's what she does. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. This is one of the Hebrew babies, she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you? Who would that be? Who might I be thinking of? She's just such, I just love it. She's just so, I can solve this problem. Let me go ahead and jump in and do that. Yes, go, she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you. So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, I drew him out of water. So this is like the craziest adoption story. That's bad in all ways. It's so bizarre. The fact that and I'm sure the mom took her to, like, knew that there's a possibility that Pharaoh's daughter would see the baby, but there's no, like, how do you know that she's going to let the baby live? He's obviously a Hebrew baby, but she did. And Miriam just was created to just speak her mind. And she just, there's not a lot of kids who will jump in there amongst adults and just speak up and say, oh, I overheard what you said. I have a solution to your problem. And without revealing that she's getting the mom of the baby to take care and bring, and it's just an amazing story.
It's an amazing story.
How God created Miriam to be there and to do that and to speak up. And that is what gave Moses able to go be with his mom during that time and I know she prayed over him. I know he heard all of their songs. He heard scripture, learned their history, learned all about God. Like that was the spiritual foundation for Moses. And that God had it, just created it and brought in, and it had to do with the midwives. They had their part to play, and then Miriam had in order for all of those things to happen. I think it's just amazing. Yeah.
When you think about it, thank you for putting it that way. I've really never thought of connecting all that together.
Yeah,
that is so true. Thinking about Miriam as a young girl.
And then
approaching the king's daughter,
exactly.
Courage.
Yes, I mean, she knew who she was talking to, and she, again, that's why I just think of her as one of those girls who just like says whatever's on her mind, like, oh, okay.
She comes across as a little authority figure.
Yes, but she had to be created that way in order to say those things and for that moment to do that and to help make all of those things happen.
Right.
And in adult life, she's a prophetess.
She is. She's called prophetess, which I didn't know until I was doing this study. And then I saw a little bit of that. Like, she even stood up to Moses at one point and got upset about he was marrying, how do you know, Cashite is how do you pronounce it? That was her Cashite woman?
Was it a Cushite?
Cushite. It was a Cushite. You're correct.
Yes.
But she, like, even though Moses was the leader, she still spoke up to Moses and said, wait. And
bro.
Yeah. So she was just always that way.
Yeah.
She was always a natural leader, an authoritative figure, and she was going to tell people what she thought. Yeah.
Love it.
So,
my.
yeah.
What a great.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us have heard the story of Moses, of course. To just hear it again, to recap it, you did a great job of recapping it, and to just realize how all the puzzle pieces, what God does to prepare people in advance for His good works, the end of Ephesians 2:10.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because all of those pieces had to fit for the next one to fit, and he had
And Moses.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but specifically women, like
Yes.
how he used the women. And
We didn't
I
even
think-
talk about his mom and all that. I mean, it's just so
Yeah.
many parts. Yeah.
And that's what we want to do with this is we don't always have studies like this. We don't always, sometimes we have topics that we're talking about, created to be me, whether it's the Enneagram or whatever, gift assessments, whatever, but we just want you to join in and share it. And you may want to have a cup of coffee with somebody and sit down and listen to it and discuss it with your friends. For sure.
Yeah. Because whatever your natural personality is, that's God created that in you,
Right.
and to use that for His kingdom.
Yeah, and sometimes as life happens to us, we lose that, right? I mean,
Yes,
so many
because
things
sometimes
can
as we,
happen.
because somebody's like, oh no, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't be that way, or you need to fit in this box, or you need to be, which no,
Exactly.
we're created to be who God created us to be.
Unique individuals.
Yes, and it's all and God, and we're all needed and part of God's kingdom. Yeah.
For sure. Or sometimes, we might be parenting, we might be taking care of parents, we might have a career. All of that could definitely take us away or farther away from really what God is calling us to do and who to be. So I'm just asking the ladies to pause and go through several of these in the Enneagram and all of that, just to give yourself some time just to see, am I in tune with you, Lord? Am I? Because that's when you try to find true joy, is when you're really in alignment with the Lord, when you're doing what He's calling you to do. And it's so easy to get out of alignment in this world.
Gosh, yes.
Busy.
Yes.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that connected to this is a link. We're pretty sure it's all going to work out.
Yep.
That you'll be able to take a gift assessment test to help you understand yourself a little bit better and how you were created to be by God. But those are all things that we're talking about during Created to Be Me series.
The links will be in the descriptions.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, and share this with all of your friends.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Cassandra.
Yeah. Good job, Cassandra. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.